All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at Pirates.blogspot.com. So in commerce, though, whoever creates the liability must bring the remedy as well. It's interesting. They took all the money out of circulation back in '33, House Joint Resolution 192. You had to turn in all your gold-backed currency for the fiat currency, which Federal Reserve note. When fiat means by decree, they just print it. Which is kind of true and not true, but it's based on the amount of bonds in the account that's set up at your birth. The birth, BERTH, of your basically your ship in commerce, which is your name in all capital letters, your debt entity, your corporate fiction, and they open an account with the Federal Reserve Bank with an unlimited amount of credit on there. And you can charge that up, and there's ways to do that. And if you go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com and look at some of the information, we talk about how to do that. But it's interesting, through normalcy bias and just doing things how they used to be done before that time, which is paying with your dollar bills that actually had actual value. You could take it to the bank and change it in for an ounce of silver or a certain amount of gold, and then they went off that, and I guess they went to a petrodollar. 1971. It's interesting too. People talk about capital controls now, and other countries like India or whatever making them turn in their $500 rupee note or their $1,000 rupee note. That happened here in the 70s, so we've already done that. There used to be $500 U.S. dollars, $1,000 bills, and they took all those out. They don't want the debt slaves walking around with that much cash, being able to leave the plantation with that much. But anyway, so they're kind of doing it one thing, and then all of a sudden everybody's oh, we got a new thing here, we got a new dollar. So we're just thinking it's the same, but what actually happened was they took all the money out of circulation, your ability to pay for anything. So now all you can do is discharge a debt. Well, it's interesting when if you owe somebody a bill, they give you a bill for $100, and what do you give them? All right, here's a $100 bill. So you're just exchanging bills. These are checks written on closed accounts, on closed checking accounts. I get into that. I'm going to get into that in a future video, but it's all run out of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, hang on. So there's Puerto Rico. See, that's going to bug me now. I can't think of it. Puerto Rico, whatever. What's the other island? I don't know. Fuck it. But anyway, so when someone sends you what's called a presentment, it's interesting too that you'll note that it's not a negative figure on the bill. They say that you owe them, because if it's a public company, that the bill has already been paid, because everything in the public is prepaid. So any statement or presentment you get in the mail with it's your name in all capital letters is not you. It's this corporate fiction, this trust that was set up at your birth, and you're actually the paymaster. And all you really need to do is do what's called an acceptance, a banker's acceptance, and accept that, and then send it to the paymaster to be discharged or offset. Secretary of the Treasury, the IRS, for adjustment. And that's what the IRS's job really is to do, is to just keep track of the bankruptcy, because the U.S. corporation is bankrupt. And like the courts are actually banks. It's set up because we're bankrupt to these international bankers that are run out of the inner city of London. And then they have a like their collection agency, which is they took over in 1812. They took over all the sureties and securities, and they came down from Canada and burned down the White House because they didn't want to reinstitute the Bank of the United States charter. Um, so they came down and took over everything and brought in their court system. That's why they all wear black robes. It's all a Saturnian cult. But anyway, it's run out of the inner city of London through the my brain's not working too good this morning. The Inns of Court. Anyway, but so the courts are there to basically administer for the bankruptcy too. They're making money off the U.S. debt slaves because you have to pay for your indulgences. Everything has a kind of a monetary value to it, and when you get charged under maritime admiralty law, you're guilty. It doesn't mean you did anything. There's no facts. It just means you're going to pay. And so they're administering for this trust account when you walk aboard their pirate ship that's in dry dock. But anyway, that's a whole different story. See, it's hard to sit down and discuss one thing. We're talking about accepted for value now. You kind of have to go back and talk about it all. Anyway, so you can access your account with the U.S. Treasury to eliminate debts and get a refund for all your income taxes you paid over the last 3 years. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but it's true. By filing your 1040s, corrected IRS docs, and you always want to submit these electronically also. That way you know immediately if it's gone through. This is not tax credit or tax advice, believe me. I'm just so keep that in mind too. Any presentment that you get, or I was talking about this, a statement. It's like you get a bank statement. You have $500 in your bank account, and it'll say $500. It won't say minus $500. It says you have $500. Now, if you get a statement in the mail, it'll say how the remittance, which is the portion you tear off, which has like account number and routing numbers on the bottom. But it's in the public domain. It's a public corporation, whether it's your utility bills, your taxes, whatever. It's in your corporate fiction name. You know that account is already prepaid because it's a public company, and you're the public. Your little avatar, your name in all capital letters, is public. You're private, and that's where it gets confusing. But you have to separate the two. So what they're asking you to do is you can either pay them with your labor, which you exchange for debt notes, for bills that you have to pay interest on. That's so fucked up, but it's true. And this is coming off the rails real quick here, but hopefully I'll get some information down that'll help some people. So anyway, yeah, you can eliminate debt with your prepaid account. It's going to be public debt. I mean, if you owe Bill down the street $100, you can't send you a statement and do an A for B on it. Anyway, there have been revisions to the UCC articles, especially financing statements and secured party applicant has to be filed in the region or the state of their birth. When the file is recorded with the Secretary of the Treasury, it must include a chargeback instruction notice, 1040-ES form, combined with a birth certificate. Secretary of the Treasury is the other party that holds an interest, and the secured party also needs to file a UCC1 financing statement and addendum with the UCC office in the state that the person resides in order to protect any property there. This is complicated stuff. Yeah, it is Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. And I'm just kind of being very general here. there's so much exciting stuff that's going on, and honestly, people get kind of sidetracked with what's going on out there with you know with this um, slave management corporation, and people getting involved thinking they have like a say, and we want to go out in the street and run. But the whole thing's a mind f, if you ask me. I mean, there's no reason to do it. When you get into this information, you will have no need to worry about that, because you have everything you need. And once you understand how the system works, you make the system work for you. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thanks.